Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, now that we have this here, we will have some more information with the Austin Karmelo Anthony with all this going on here. Now, apparently, he's been charged. He has seen a likely very damning sentence, and things are probably looking up and up here, but we'll see here what's coming, right? So, without further ado, let's get directly into this. All right, so we have this here from Reverend Jordan Wells saying Austin Metcalf, father of slain Austin Metcalf, makes desperate last-ditch attempt to stop high school rewarding Karmelo Anthony. So we did this report already where we seen that his father, Jeff Metcalf, was trying to is trying to make sure that Karmelo Anthony uh, does not get a diploma rewarded for such a thing, and I agree. As I said, it's kind of crazy that we would go out and say that this is what should be allowed. This is what we should allow with kids trying to get this diploma and stuff like that. So obviously, this is not a good thing, right? I mean, what are we doing here? So, without further ado, this guy has something to say about the whole about this, what's going on with Jeff Metcalf or what have you. I don't know why you just say just Jeff Metcalf because he would have been able to make a smaller sentence, but I digress. So, without further ado, here we go.
Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, his child, he filed a complaint with with Texas because that school, which is probably some liberal school or some liberal principal, allowed and was scared of the backlash, allowed Karmelo Anthony to graduate. He shouldn't have been able to graduate. He should have been completely expelled from the school. If you're expelled, you don't get to graduate. He should have had to go to a new school if he wanted to. He shouldn't have been able to go to that school and graduate. And just imagine the memory of his father that this boy got to graduate like nothing's going on and nothing happened. And all they didn't allow him to do was not go to the graduation. That is so horrible. And the superintendent should be in trouble. The parents should be upset that they let a criminal graduate like nothing happened, like he didn't murder somebody.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I made my points very clear in the last one here, where we're just constantly rewarding people who do bad things, money and stuff like that. Like a good example with the Shiloh situation, with the whole her saying the N word, and then sure getting almost $1 million for it. Again, I can understand the reasoning on to why she received that amount of money. I think there's a lot of black BS that's happening here, what we call black fatigue, and or some what people say ghetto fatigue, and it is crazy. I mean, we are awarding people for doing bad things. Now, am I saying that this woman should uh that if you say something bad should happen to them or whatever? No. Just because you say something does not mean you deserve to have your life ruined, attacked, murdered, etc. This is not what I condone here. However, your words do have actions. What you say does matter, but it does not mean that you have to uh this doesn't mean that you go to extreme lengths to get somebody almost ended, right? So that's just stupid. But the point being is that we got to stop uh making people that do bad things rewarded for this, because it doesn't do good for a society, let alone culture. But again, this whole other thing is going crazy. So we have this here from Sarah Fields. Now she is saying that according to a response to my open records request to Frisco ISD, there are over 104,000 emails between staff members mentioning the names Jeffrey Metcalf, Megan Metcalf, and Karmelo Anthony since April 2nd, 2025. To obtain every email, I would need to pay $1,800. I'm currently trying to find a way to narrow down my request and research terms. However, the number of emails is still insane to me. She's saying that I'm going to attempt to narrow down the request. Once I get a new estimate, hopefully, I think I will go ahead and crowdfund for the amount. For those who want to go ahead and donate, here is my Cash App and Venmo. I may start a GoFundMe based on how much they require for the deposit and go from there. So again, I think Jeremy says that. I think that Jeremy said that he would pay, or he would foot the bill, and uh, so yeah. But I think it would be very good to to do this, to actually get the whole part of emails, because I think we need to know as the people on how much how many of these emails that these teachers were sending here to the Frisco ISD and stuff like that and the staff members, because I got a strong feeling here that that the ones are mostly trying to defend Carmelo Anthony, because there's just no way that you are not going to get to the point to where to where Carmelo Anthony is not quote unquote expelled, but he's not really expelled, and then he gets a diploma, right? So you can't have that where a lot of these emails are positive, but we'll see. I mean, I want to see how she does this. I want to see all those emails because it's very, very important, and I will report on that as well. So what we have here again with this is that apparently he's being charged. It's quite crazy, really. So it says here from the Daily Wire, it says teen charged with unaliving Austin Metcalf to be tried as adult. The teen who's been charged in the murder of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf will be tried as an adult in Texas. Well, that's a good thing. Last month, Metcalf was poked to death, or stabbed. We're just going to go with stabbed here because we're not going to be stupid. At a high school track meet after reportedly telling Carmelo Anthony, 17, they was sitting in the wrong seat. Anthony has been charged with the first-degree murder and, according to an arrest warrant, told police of the fatal shooting. I did it. Anthony will be tried as an adult since Texas is a concurrent jurisdiction state. According to Capital B, the laws allow prosecutors to charge minors, typically 16 or 17-year-olds, as adults with certain crimes. The Collin County District Attorney's Office, which is north of Dallas, is prosecuting the case of Metcalf's apparent murder. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder in April, but a grand jury will review the evidence and decide whether to formally indict on that charge or on a lesser charge like manslaughter, Capital B reported. If Anthony is convicted of first-degree murder, he could face life in prison with a chance at parole after 40 years. He will not face the death penalty. The Supreme Court has said not only can you not seek the death penalty against someone who committed a crime when they're 17, you can't even get them life without parole. That would not be something we could do even if we wanted to, Collin District Attorney Greg Willis said. As highlighted by the Daily Wire, last month, Anthony's bond was initially set at $1 million, but a Collin County judge agreed to lower the bond to $250,000 and granted Anthony house arrest at his parents' home. Now, I went over this already, and the judge is black. She is a black woman, and it brings up concerns, right? I'm probably just going to have to do a stream of this because I it just goes to show that, like, how we end up into this point to where black people in particular, it just seems to be a negative, net negative, net negative every single time. And we want to claim that, like, we're better than the white people, yet we end up doing these type of things that makes us look like we're in a bad light. And it's a problem. It's really a problem. And it needs to be solved. I don't think that I think a lot of black community could probably also understand what I'm saying here, and there's a lot of people that are just want to constantly play victim in the black community in itself. So it goes on to say here that the racially charged case made headlines earlier this month when it was reported that Anthony was allowed to graduate high school, which is absurd. Jet Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, said he wanted answers about the decision to allow Anthony to graduate high school, but he was stonewalled by Frisco Independent School and District Superintendent Mike Waldrop. I've been stonewalled, sad, I understand the protocol, Jeff McCall said. They said they have to make an appointment, which I did. So we already know that the school lied to him. So we're going to see on how this plays out. It's not great. But again, to round this up here, is that this is a messy and very political case. And I think this is only political because it's just gone to the point to where people are tired of the black fatigue, tired of the insanity, tired of the stupidity. Maybe we could also call it liberal fatigue. You could call it ghetto fatigue, whatever you want to call it. It really doesn't matter. The point of it being is that we're tired with these people's type of behavior, and there's always this one set group of people that is constantly doing this. And I'll put a poke a little bit in here about this. When we go and talk about the Pacific of these black people here, right? we have to think on what it reflects on black people when you go out and there is a person that's being accused of this crime, or rather, the crime is being pretty obvious, and then the bail is set down to a dramatic amount, and you end up doing this, and it happens all the time with black judges because it doesn't, because when you do stuff like this, it makes the other populace think that, like, okay, so why wouldn't we, so if it comes down to a white person that is does this, and a white person gets this amount to be gets this amount, this bail amount, and then the white person doesn't get that lowered, but the black person does, that's going to make people be angry and cause racial tension because of the mere fact that that a black person had did a crime similar, and then and then that person's bail is dropped down. This is not looking black people to be good, and it's a huge issue. And I think that people need to start addressing that a little bit more, because that's just kind of the reality out of it. And I don't think this will be a good thing going forward if black people keep doing this type of stuff over and over and over again. Again, I'll go a little bit more further on this in another video or something, but I said my piece. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.